They say basketball is a giant's game. 7-foot wingspans, thunderous dunks, and men who move like skyscrapers on wheels. But every once in a while, someone walks in who rewrites the physics of the sport. Someone who proves that height isn't a measurement of greatness. It's just a number next to your name. That someone is Yuki Kawamura, a 5'7" blur from Japan who might just be the most entertaining basketball player alive. The shortest player in today's NBA, one of the 10 shortest in history. A man standing a full foot beneath the league's average height, yet somehow towering above expectation. From the first moment Yuki touched an NBA floor, fans couldn't believe their eyes. How does a player that small throw no-look passes between defenders' legs? How does he hang in the air long enough to fake a layup and deliver a perfect assist? How does he survive among giants who could literally see over him? The answer is simple. Yuki Kawamura doesn't play basketball. He performs it. Every dribble, every hesitation, every flick of the wrist feels like choreography. He's a magician wrapped in a jersey, and every game he touches becomes a stage. But none of this came easy. Before the cheers, before the viral clips, before the NBA lights, Yuki was told no more times than he can count. Too small, too light, too unrealistic. Yet he's been defying logic since the day he first picked up a ball. In Japan, Yuki Kawamura was a prodigy no one believed could last. He dominated every level despite being half the size of his opponents. And when he entered the Japanese B League, he didn't just play, he conquered. In one season, he became both Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player, an achievement no one had ever seen. He averaged over 20 points and nearly 8 assists per game, slicing through defenses like a samurai through air. Those numbers earned him a spot on Japan's national team, where the world finally noticed. At the Paris Olympics, Yuki was electric, averaging 20.3 points and 7.7 assists per game. He became the only player in the entire tournament ranked top 3 in both categories. Not even LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, or Giannis Antetokounmpo could say that. The performance was impossible to ignore. NBA scouts started whispering. One front office in particular, the Memphis Grizzlies, saw something special. They didn't see a marketing gimmick, they saw a weapon. Memphis offered him an Exhibit 10 contract, the lowest and least secure deal the league has. No guarantees, no safety net. Just an invitation to fight for his dream. When Yuki signed that paper, he became only the 4th Japanese player in NBA history. Making the final roster would take a miracle. And so he decided to create one. When preseason arrived, fans expected a novelty act. Instead, they got a show. Behind-the-back passes, step-back threes, no-look dimes. Yuki turned meaningless minutes into magic. Commentators who didn't even know how to pronounce his name couldn't stop repeating it. Every touch brought a reaction. Every bucket drew a roar. Even Ja Morant, Memphis' superstar, couldn't hide his excitement. He took the young guard under his wing, and together they became an unlikely duo, the Giant and the Spark. By the end of the preseason, Yuki wasn't just a meme, he was a fan favorite. Kids wore his jersey, teammates danced with him, crowds chanted his name, and the Grizzlies rewarded him with a 1-year NBA contract. But the league isn't built on highlight clips. It's built on opportunity, and Yuki barely got any. With guards like Morant, Marcus Smart, Scottie Pippen Jr., and Desmond Bane, there was no room. He played only 22 games, averaging 1.6 points and less than a minute's worth of touches per quarter. The box score said he was invisible. The truth was that he was just waiting. When Memphis sent him to their G League affiliate, most thought it was the end. For Yuki, it was the beginning. In the G League's tip-off tournament, he unleashed everything he'd held back. In 7 games, he averaged nearly 14 points and a league-high 10.7 assists per night. 6 times he recorded double-digit assists. Twice he came within 1 rebound of a triple-double. He wasn't just surviving, he was dominating. His 27-point masterpiece against the Windy City Bulls turned heads. His 16-assist duel with former MVP Mac McClung made believers out of skeptics. And then came his magnum opus against the Texas Legends. Yuki dropped 24 points, 14 assists, 6 steals, and a block. Numbers that look like something out of a video game. In 24 G League games, he averaged 12.4 points, 7.8 assists, and shot 41% from deep. By the season's midpoint, Memphis had seen enough. They called him back up. And on a January night against the number 1 seeded Thunder, Yuki finally got real minutes, 11 of them. He scored 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting, grabbed 3 rebounds, and dropped 3 assists. The box score was modest. The message was not. He belonged. Later that year, Yuki got his biggest NBA start against the Dallas Mavericks, one of the league's best defensive units. He exploded for 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, hitting 3 of his 5 threes. He didn't just play well, he controlled the game. Every possession felt alive. Every pass felt deliberate. But the NBA is as cruel as it is beautiful. When Memphis fired their coach and changed direction, Yuki's contract wasn't renewed. He was a free agent again, unsigned, unwanted, and underestimated. For a moment, it seemed the story was over. He could have gone home. He could have been a superstar again in Japan. But Yuki isn't wired to quit. He stayed in the U.S., training quietly, waiting for another chance. And in 2025, it came. The Chicago Bulls called, not with a contract, but with an invitation. Summer League in Las Vegas. No guarantees, no promises. Just one more shot to prove he was NBA material. And that's all Yuki ever needed. In Vegas, he played like a man possessed. Against Utah, 20 points and 10 assists. Against Indiana, 15 points and 10 assists. But the stats don't tell the story. The plays do. On one possession, Yuki snatched a rebound over taller defenders, sprinted in transition, looked left, faked right, and whipped a behind-the-back bounce pass to a cutting teammate for a dunk. Another time, he split a double team with a one-handed pocket pass so fast the camera barely caught it. Then there was the pass that broke the internet, a bounce dime between a defender's legs for an easy layup. The crowd couldn't believe it. Commentators ran out of adjectives. By the end of Summer League, Yuki wasn't just a curiosity, he was a sensation. The Bulls didn't hesitate. They signed him to a 2-way contract, his ticket back to the NBA. In Chicago's training camp, Yuki kept doing what made him special, turning scrimmages into viral clips. Even veterans couldn't hide their admiration for the fearless kid who played like he had nothing to lose. Then came preseason. Against Cleveland, Yuki logged 14 minutes, delivering 5 assists and 3 rebounds in limited action. Against Houston, he followed it up with another solid performance. 3 points, 3 assists, a steal, and 5 rebounds, despite barely touching the floor. He was fighting for his spot again, and just like before, he was making it impossible to ignore him. But fate had other plans. Late in preseason, Yuki began feeling sharp pain in his lower leg. At first, doctors called it soreness. Further tests revealed a medical condition, one serious enough for the Bulls to sideline him indefinitely. For a while, Chicago stayed vague. They never disclosed what the condition was, only that it wasn't career-threatening. But business is business. A 2-way spot is valuable real estate, and an injured player, no matter how beloved, can't hold it forever. The Bulls made the difficult decision to release him. Once again, Yuki Kawamura was without a team. Today, Yuki is rehabbing at the Bulls facility with their blessing, a small sign of how much respect he's earned. When he's cleared, he'll likely join another G League squad or return to Windy City itself. Either way, he'll be ready, because if there's one thing Yuki Kawamura has proven, it's that you can't count him out. The league may chase prototypes, tall, switchable, athletic guards who fit cleanly into the system. Yuki isn't that. He's an exception to the rule. At 5'7", he's arguably one of the best pure passers on earth. A playmaker who sees gaps before they exist, who manipulates space and time like a chess master 3 moves ahead. Analytics can't measure it. Scouts can't quantify it. But every arena he enters feels different the moment he checks in. He makes the game fun again, unpredictable, fast, Alive. When an offense stalls, when the crowd falls silent, coaches need someone to reignite the energy. That's what Yuki does. He flips the switch, breaks the rhythm, and turns hesitation into applause. That kind of player can't be defined by stats. It's not about averages, it's about electricity. For decades, the world has watched Japan produce skilled, disciplined basketball players, but never one quite like Yuki Kawamura. He doesn't just represent his country, he represents possibility. Every time he steps on the floor, a kid somewhere in Tokyo or Osaka or Fukuoka sees him and thinks, if he can do it, maybe I can too. That's legacy. Not in banners or rings, but in belief. He may not have the stature of a superstar, but he has the heart of one. And in a league that often forgets it's called the entertainment business, Yuki reminds everyone why they fell in love with basketball in the first place. Because at its core, this game isn't just about domination, it's about creation. It's about rhythm, imagination, and courage. And no one embodies those things right now more than the 5'7" spark from Japan, who makes giants look slow and systems look outdated. Yuki Kawamura is more than an underdog. He's a phenomenon. He's proof that no matter how tall the mountain, the heart still decides the climb. His story isn't finished. Somewhere out there, another NBA team will take the same chance Memphis once did. And when they do, the crowd will rise again. The smallest man on the court will once more become the biggest reason to watch. And when that happens, remember this. You can measure wingspans, you can count inches, you can chart numbers, but you can't quantify magic. Because the magic is Yuki Kawamura.